already some aggressive moves on both sides. Playing down Tube to kick things off, Durka with the Sheriff in hand. And Fnatic could activate a very quick flank if they want to with those two players. I see the alarm bot go down in mid though, so I think they're going to try to retake very quickly with S5.
Yes, managed to get themselves a little flank set up in mid, expecting maybe a late split to come in. It's simply not the case though. Everyone groups up on site here for Heretics. They have that control. Planted just inside window as well, and there we go. Away Zips. Just like Batman, back across that zip line, out of dodge, out of sight, out of mind at least for a few seconds.
Yeah, that topside plant very exposed for lineups in the post from Heretics. Poster good finding an opening kill here, as it does get traded a little bit. Those extra smokes from the Harbor making things really uncomfortable on site.
Good read from Kellogg's as well off towards his left, finds Boaster. This wall doing so much work, but Durka comes in, pops the head off, pops the second as well. Really starting to take control of things here, as Fnatic making great use of the Sage Wall as well to find the cover, but it's Durka to get the closing kill. Great first opening round for Fnatic on a fantastic retake.
I feel like any time I see a team draft a comp that doesn't have a Sage, that just happens in the first round. It's like, oh yeah, that's why we picked the Sage, guys. It's for retakes on defense, especially. Just so brutal, especially on pistol rounds, on SMG rounds. It's very hard to cut on through that. So nothing you can really do as soon as you lose control over 410. Like I was saying, it would have been great to play lineups, play very deep like they were with Vu all the way back on Belt, but as soon as that wall gets thrown up, it is just completely lost there for Heretics.
Really good read from Fnatic as well, I think. You know, they've seen it a million times that teams want to play a range up on ramp, out towards hut, try and contest in towards the spike itself, but the Sage Wall is blocking everything about that. Great first round. See if Heretics can change up their fortunes here in what seems to be another A-hit coming in.
Just as
he has no idea.
Yeah.
Now he knows.
He's right underneath him.
I think they know. But can they find a man? Yeah, of course they can. Durka, the Angel of Death, finds his man. And that means now that they've all got to force their way in towards A. Two players should come rotating over pretty quickly from Fnatic here. One potentially on the backstab, but Turret is in B mid.
Yeah, Fnatic don't want to overfight right off the rip. Again, a couple players pretty far away. So unlike last round where they were very quickly rotating and forcing in, this round with the rifles, you want to take things a little bit slower. You don't actually want to flank and risk giving a Phantom over towards Kellogg, who is guarding that area.
Yeah.
And Heretics also playing very forward on site with the smaller rifles.
Well, I love the play here. Durka's gone up through mid to try and group up with his team. Instead, forget about Kellogg. He's nowhere to be seen right now. They should be able to get control and find a couple of kills. He had a few start coming on through, but once again, it's Kellogg's all by himself. 4 still left for Fnatic. A comfortable round 2 win.
And super comfy too that Chronicle doesn't even invest the wall coming to that one. So a lot of extra money that won't have to be respent there for the Sage. Also, Chronicle was the only player I think that went full armor and didn't actually get that damage at all. So going to be very happy with how things went, all things considered. In terms of actually like ultimate stacking up here too, like the fact that Durka is just 2 points off of the knives means that that is the round 4 option for him more than likely, unless they just cruise away here with a round 3 win.
Not renewing the half shields for the most part as well. Looking on the other side, full shield buys coming in on the other side.
Yeah, that'll mean this is a swing round, right? When you're investing into the heavy armor, it means in the following round 4 you will not be able to buy as Heretics. So this effectively 2 rounds or 1.9, however you want to math out that. I'm not the expert.
I'm not going to math out on that.
I'll leave that to the brighter minds.
I'm sure Tom backstage is racing through it right now.
Yeah, the immortal minds maybe need to get involved in that discussion.
Well, third time looking. I think Heretics, understandably, looking to try and make things work a little bit closer in those first 2 rounds, but given the choice here in round 3 to maybe push out towards B, have opted once again to push in towards A. Taking things nice and slow, and Fnatic with 3 out towards that B side, actually giving quite a bit of space over towards Heretics to make this work. And let's not forget, that Sage Wall is not going to be as effective this round.
It's very true. The one thing I didn't really mention in the pregame is that with the Harbor, you actually have smokes going over towards the A sites. You can block off Rafter. It makes it much easier to plant the spike. You don't have to cheat your way in with the Sage. And Fnatic aren't really playing on A. They're playing heavy retake on A every single round. Durka's very far away from the team, maybe expecting a late lurk like you saw in the last round.
Yep.
So he hasn't actually rotated over here until the spike's planted. He's going to hold his ground.
Well, now that the turret's still up as well, they're not too worried about this. Now Durka should start to move over, and again, it's going to be another retake.
The timing is bad on that. The molly from the Viper coming in just a second late. If that hits, that's a kill with the shock dart if it had come in first.
But it did not indeed inside of the cove here as well. It's Boaster up nice and close. Finds one, looks on towards Dyson, finds the second as well. Good start on the retake, but it's not too bad in the 2 versus 2 for Heretics, who might finally have that investment in the heavy shields pay off.
Oh, already on the spike though. That's going to be at least a half stick. The Killjoy molly coming in very late, but it's a 1 versus 2. Dirk has to fight his way out. And he's only on 22 HP. It's got to be a gamble.
Oh, the gamble does not pay off. Heretics finally find their way back in on that force.
It looked like for a second there, Boaster was going to be able to clutch that up, finding a couple of spam kills with the Bulldog. That being said, Heretics play the long game. I didn't actually see what ended up happening with Chronicle, if he was able to put down the wall or not. If he died earlier in the engagement. I think, yeah, he actually died with Zeke backside. So while we were watching Boaster, it was Zeke finding a 3K all on his own. The rest of his team playing lineups from very far away. So respect to him. Basically just clawing that round out for Heretics without his performance on the backside. That is a lost round, I think, for Heretics.
Classic half buys coming in, well, half shield buys, sorry, coming in. Light shields stacked up for Fnatic. I think we're all used to seeing that by this point, not just across Fnatic, but pretty much every other team around the world, it feels.
But because Durka did so well farming up the orbs in the first 2 rounds, he now gets to just buy the Stinger as a secondary, and that means in round 5 he has an operator.
Who was it we saw yesterday the same, but they had Shorty? That's all they bought. I forget who it was.
I don't remember. But yeah,
but they ran out.
Definitely see a lot of the Shorties.
They lost the autumn there with the Shorty, like, ah, crap.
It's always a good secondary option.
No joy to be found.
Kellogg's
up on top of screens, looks for his man, but Boaster's just far too quick on the trigger.
It's a really big gamble push right there, and that's a classic Kellogg's moment, right? Go out on your own. Maybe you find 1, maybe you find 2, but equally simple just to lose your life and put your team at a numbers disadvantage.
There we go, once again, Fnatic stuck in this retake. We've seen this 3-2 split as well, 2 on Raptors, 3 pushing in from mid, time and time again, but down goes Durka. That's not what you wanted out of that ultimate. They find nothing off the back of it, and it feels like Heretics have got that control in the 3v2.
Once again, Chronicle dies on the retake there, so no wall. And actually, Elfier wasn't able to shoot that molly either. He's going to try to throw one of his own nanostorms to zone away these players. 2 players playing on the ground, only 1 can swing from upper belt, but the mollies are also coming in. The round's cooked.
They bail him. Cooked is one way to describe it. Out they go. Opting for now at least to hold on to those rifles, but get themselves well away to safety. Heretics make it 2 in a row. And everything's been around A so far, let's not forget as well.
No, and he leaves. Okay, never mind.
Using your eyes, but not your brain, apparently.
Oh, this is a different setup from Fnatic. So often you'll see Alfier playing in mid and just off of Boiler dropping the alarm bot in mid. He'll change up the position of it, just like forward to backwards so that you can't reliably throw a shock dart and break that one. But this time it's actually over towards B, so Fnatic are reading that a bit. Now, Boaster is too deep towards Snowman to actually throw down that ultimate like I was maybe expecting him to use.
Well, Zeke's managed to grab his ultimate off the back of that orb as well, which can be really pivotal in this push coming forwards. Of course, got the wall split across the site.
I think they may try to open up towards Snowman here. Watch the Harbor Wall. When the Viper Wall goes down just a second before it, they could throw a vertical Harbor Wall and try to isolate off Boaster. That's exactly what they're doing. Now he's in trouble.
Now comes the push forward, the aggression you're looking for, but they didn't know.
He missed the
They
wall.
didn't know about Leo up top as well. Didn't land it on the high ground. It was stuck on the low. They collect a couple of kills off the back of it. It looks so good as a setup for Heretics, but that one small detail, the wall being missing, lets Leo open up, and this is going to be a Fnatic round.
Hugely problematic there, not connecting on the high ground. Also, Durka instantly flying out there on the flank. I was so preoccupied watching what was going on with the walls. I didn't even notice Durka coming in the back lines, and Heretics didn't either. So they tried that play, I think supported by Zeke's Hunter's Fury too. Trying to push some players off the angles, and it just goes completely awry as their first contact in just gets shot from an angle they weren't expecting to be a possibility.
It's that wall again, as you're saying, just a flank off the back. Durka well caught on that side. Just a really good collapse by Fnatic in what really could have been a bit of a messy situation, but I think Fnatic smelled that something was afoot when they didn't see an early hit coming in towards A, because those first 3-4 rounds, Heretics were on A site like a rash. 20 seconds in, they were ready to go and make things happen. So when you don't get that same level of aggression, you get a little bit suspicious.
Chronicle threw a slow orb there just to buy it. The forward aggression is great. Getting the orb and also 2 kills. Fnatic with a phenomenal read. 2 rounds in a row, expecting the B hit, instantly punishing, and then now playing forward over towards A. Not just to grab the orb and back away, but to still hold those positions, go for the repeak, something that Heretics hadn't seen. 6 rounds in, it's the first time there's early aggression from Fnatic, and they carve Heretics up.
That's the difficult part. It's like boxing with shadows for Heretics as well, because the second they've turned to try and deal with one threat, they're being hit from somewhere else, and Durka, again, almost nearly finding a second side swipe they weren't responsible for. Now Leo gets one back on the other side. You'll happily play this 1-for-1 game. It's a 4v2. Feels like it's done already.
It's also crazy that the 2 players they found, all right, work on those hops, are Mixwell and Avova. They lost both of their smokes off of those opening kills. Just unfortunate timing. I don't even think those players were leading the charge. They just got absolutely smacked down.
Both hasn't got to do much here because, again, the communication is there, right? They're pushing through mid. Chances are they're rotating over towards B. So what are Fnatic going to do? 3 players straight over towards B in preparation.
I think there's no harm really in Heretics trying to fight this one out. Had enough money in the bank to be able to go ahead into the next one, so Just trying to see what exactly they can accomplish, but yeah, not really going to be able to happen on this one, especially with Durka once again hopping over on the flank, just straight into Zeke right here. Durka able to make easy work of that. And now, that's a couple of rounds in a row. So we just talked about how Fnatic played A aggressive for the first time. That catches Heretics off guard. Now that's something they have to think about. But now in their head too, they're like, okay, 2 rounds in a row, Durka's flanked us into B main. That's something they're gonna maybe commit players to play deeper. Especially if their Killjoy is falling on these initial hits and they don't have the turret for protection.
Well, for me that you come into this midfield point of round 6, round 7, where all these ultimates are starting to roll online. Of course, we've seen a couple so far. Had the ultimate out of the Sova on the side of Heretics. This time round, though, there are 3 ults available for them, including that Viper's Pit. But I think Bose has been really smart here. Has held on to it, not really seen the aggression or the chance to use it, but he's almost got it as a response if we see a Vova come in with his.
Durka, fantastic here. Will he find the catch? No! Boo turns around and is ready for it. Down to 30 HP and no opportunities to get a heal, so...
Pulling out Kellogg's there, really.
But no one's ready for Chronicle here, right? It does look like Boo's re-clearing here, holding for a potential push, because maybe he was out of range to actually hear if it was a Sage wall up or something. They're worried that there could have been another player popping into this area.
Oh,
Chronicle has a chance to find a couple here.
Oh, if you swung us at the right time as well, there could have been some magic. They got a bit of an assist coming in from the ultimate as well. He's expecting someone on Ram, but they're simply not there. They've completely ignored him though, and he's going to slaughter 2 down from the back. That's 3, because Kellogg's also went down to Leo.
Yeah, Leo is using the Hunter's Furies off the footsteps calm, right? Chronicle's position tells him when he can slam that one. So even without a dart or anything spotting it, he just blind is able to snipe one player off. Fantastic. Now you have the late Viper's Pit as well. That's going to force... What? A shock dart kill from Leo too. It forces them over into this angle, and Leo finds his 3rd on the round.
Beautiful overall. Just once again, clinical from Fnatic is any way you can really summarize the way these rounds have been going.
And that was a round that they're playing out 4 versus 5, right? Like, that was not the, you know, Durka superstar go kill. That was Durka, what are you doing, man? You're dead. It was fine. He got the player low. But then it was Chronicle's forward position. You know, how Fnatic adapt when they lose players early on, sort of grinding their way out of that round with a great call to use the Hunter's Fury there. Just absolutely love it. Investing 2 ultimates, but making the round virtually unwinnable for Heretics.
That's it. I mean, Heretics now staring at the spot again, with 3 ultimates still online. Look to see which of those will make the difference. I think the Killjoy really is a great way just to hardcore something here, but nothing yet coming out.
Leo just knows. He knows where everyone is at all times. It's absolutely nuts, these shock darts. We actually, can we check? By the end of this game, you know, Analyst Desk, figure out how many shock dart like kills he's gotten, or like what the shock dart damage is, because it's got to be nuts. I've seen him land 4 or 5 already, and some off of virtually no information whatsoever.
Shows sometimes that pre-place utility or the blind fire in the hope that someone is there can reward you big time. Heretics again taking this slower approach that we spoke about previously, right? They slowed things down last time on the B hit as well. It gave a lot of time for Fnatic to make themselves get into the right positions. We had Durka come on the flank through spawn as well. It just really stung them, which is why this time round they've kept Boo a little bit further back. He's watching mid, he's watching on the A cut as well. He does not want Durka coming on the flank, so that 1v1 could be the difference maker.
100%. Now, Heretics do have a lot of big ultimates, so if they're able to find an opening kill or something like this, all of a sudden there are some options. And I think they're going to play more for actual B-site control. And I think in the post plant, if they can use the lockdown, there's no flank threat of shutting that one down. There's a lot of opportunities to actually win an eco here.
It's what they can do with these kills. Boo's managed to get himself up here inside a tube too, managed to shut one down as well. Mixwell falls elsewhere, and still Boo really saying boo to a goose outside the tube until Althea comes out behind him and gets the shutdown. Now out comes that Viper ultimate as well. This looks to be a very commanding spot for Heretics in the 3v3.
Fnatic have to fight their way through this. No scouting util. Leo has already fallen, and Zeke is finding some damage, but the shorty secondary's there. Always buy a shorty if there's a pit on the opposite side or in the round at all. Avova still having a chance now. They're not on the spike just yet.
Do they know? Oh, they know when they see him up close. Again, that shorty just doing more than enough. And Fnatic, they get the pull back into 3v3. Looking dominant so far today.
There's a challenge I want you all to do. When you look,
what we're looking at and thinking, okay, A hit, nice and tight, nice and close, good chance to make use of it. They appear to agree as A is going to be the play.
They have yet to deal with this forward aggression, so they're actually super early using the hard roll. It doesn't matter though. Durka is finding everything and still fighting forward. Maybe a bit of a mistake as he falls, but it's an instant res.
This is it, the kind of pace you were looking for, but it's still looking dicey. They cannot find anyone. The res coming out has got him back to full strength as you caught onto, and 5v2 again. Not even a chance for Boo to get his ultimate out and drop it down because things are already falling apart.
Killjoy turret's turned off now, so
Boaster
on the flank. There's just nothing you can do. Boaster knows exactly what's up.
Easy close out.
That's the round. Again, the 2 rounds Heretics won, A site was donated over to them. Fnatic tried to play a slightly delayed retake in those opportunities, and Heretics fought their way through and were able to win those rounds. Since then, the turning point has been every round, it's been forward aggression, Durka just moving up in through A, supported by Chronicle Sage. And apart from the 1 round where Boo, shut him down, but even then, Chronicle was there to still win it out.
Yep.
It has not looked remotely close for Heretics.
No. I mean, this is the problem as well. We keep on speaking about that lockdown. It's been 2 or 3 rounds now they've sat on it and not made use of it. On the other side, Alfie is only a couple of points away from having it on side himself as well. It's looking ropey. It's not looking like we might even see them get a couple more rounds in this half. I do fully expect that it's Fnatic to keep on marching through the next 2 or 3 rounds. I
love, too, that Fnatic have shown 4, maybe even 5 different ways of playing forward in A. Where is the Jet? Is she going all the way towards Belt? Is she playing on pipe, top 410? All these options. As Boo finds a great opener over towards B and actually puts the turret down in front. It's a really early ultimate, but because his team is a little bit slow on the rotation, he didn't want to allow anyone to actually rotate over and shoot down this planter.
Still Leo marching forward, and Chu just whenever over had a chance to open things up in the middle of the park. That's been removed as a threat. Now, maybe you look at the lockdown that came out a little bit too early because Fnatic was still rotating over. Didn't even force anyone back, really, when you look at it. Time is ticking, though. Got to see a move.
Without perfect information, I understand it, but now they have to fight their way through this one. Harbor Wall lasts for a long time, so Durka trying to just drop that smoke. They have to deal with the dart. They still haven't been able to do that. It tags 2 players. That's huge. And it allows them to bust open this wall.
The wall's gone down as well. Yep, straight back up. Kellogg's hops down after dropping down and gets Durka as well. Gets his opposite man. That's what you're looking for. But at range, it looks like Heretics have finally found what they need and battle their way back in, even with that suboptimal lockdown.
Respect to Boo right there. A couple of different times now, Boo has found the openers on the lurk. That time, sniping out Boaster. And maybe that's the way Heretics need to play, right? If you're losing the opening duels over towards A, forget that. Maybe scout it out, try to force them back with some good utility, but enable Boo to lurk up through mid or through B main. This was a round 2 where I think the Killjoy setup had returned to mid with the alarm bot. So Boo was able to slip on past that one.
I think so much of that wall that came out there as well, actually.
I love this, though, because now Durka switches it back over to B. He's everywhere.
And managed to find the one. He's just kind of reading what's coming out of Heretics. They're going for a rotate back out towards mid here. A kind of untrodden ground by a lot of teams, and Tube has been a bit of a battle point throughout this game so far. Maybe even a full rotate over towards A. They're trying to catch the rotate. I think they're hearing everything as well, all the footsteps. Does Leo know? He knows. He absolutely knows.
He'll never peek in front of this turret. They have been playing this comp. They've been playing the Killjoy for way too long, even back in chamber times. Fnatic were the first ones to really figure out how to just shut down kitchen control from the defense or from the attackers, right? Having this Killjoy just limits what you can do on the lurk, which is why when a player like Boo finds a couple of those openers, it's like insane. And you have to, challenge around A or B, but that's a big investment. It puts you really far away from the rest of your team.
Well, Zeke's gone fishing out towards A. And no one's bitten. Fnatic actually have kind of read into that as the fake and assumed there's a B hit coming in, but it's a double fake coming out here.
Watch underneath Tube, though, right? Because Alfier maybe was going to look to try find some kind of pinch.
Heretics have gone A to B to back to A again after playing off that fake that we just saw a moment ago as well. Really good reading the round, and Fnatic caught slightly out of position here as well.
I don't even think it's necessarily out of position.
No, because their retakes are so good.
And with numbers advantage, right? They don't want to risk losing a single player to one of those lurk timings. So they're playing condensed, and that's going to benefit them a lot on the retake.
Skandar coming in here as well. Should give them all they need, but Durka, oh my god, the man cannot be stopped. Almost going to find, no! Finds the third through the smoke as well. Boaster gets dropped. So now it's Zeke and Avova to hold out all by themselves as Chronicle finds one more. Leo onto the last, and Fnatic yet again pull off a miraculous retake.
Exactly what you want to be seeing right there.
They're just so good on these retakes, time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost been a while, I think, since we've seen it. It was like the first 4 rounds, every single time it was a retake. And since then, it's been forward fighting, but now challenged to make that happen over on the B site. I really like the way they played it. Playing off the Sova dart, retaking as a team through the smoke. Durka killing everyone through the smoke.
Just horrific.
I mean, what is this?
You find 3 in the round and it's basically done on 1.
Durka can't even believe it.
Well, Heretics have really got to buck up their ideas going into this second half because it's going to be difficult. Obviously, the one last round here in round 12 to see things out, but I think regardless of what comes out in this round, there is work to be done.
Good note there from Heretics, seeing that Leo was just 1 off of the Hunter's Fury, so that's why they combined the Snake Bite and the Shock Dart, just looking for a 1-shot on that one. Leo hears it coming in, though, so just takes a little bit of damage on that. Actually, wow, Durka really going forward on that one, and Boo's not going to have his number this time.
2 quick kills coming in as well. Big, heavy A-hit coming in with a bit of pace behind it as well. But for the most part, once more, Fnatic's team are largely unbothered. 3 of them still hanging out towards B here, as this does, no doubt, the spike will be going down relatively shortly. But they still lose players, even in that numbers
there's
advantage.
a lockdown too. You have to fight forward into the lockdown. Abova has to take a chance. There's 2 players here. He can't make it happen. Alphier, or just how Chronicle was playing it.
Yep.
But the Sage is a pick where counter to Harbor, where Harbor wants to take more forward space with those deep balls towards Snowman, off of Rafters on A. Sage can look for shallower control, so you don't actually have to fully take the site. You can just drop the wall down, look for a plant, do things relatively easily. If anything, I'm curious what Fnatic have cooking here with some mid plays.
I mean, every single one forcing through mid as well. We spoke about this a little bit in the green room earlier. That split off towards B, split out towards A, both less than ideal. Kind of one-way angle that you give sometimes. And A just feels like a murder box. But they managed to get around it as well.
I love this. This is fantastic.
Intentional, surely.
They're going into kitchen. This may end up being, they're actually not taking the spike with
back.
it,
Yeah.
curiously enough. Oh, that's so cool. They hit the alarm bot right when they want to swing into kitchen. So the kitchen player is caught completely sleeping. Mixwell gets dinked down to 13 HP. Now Durka's in Snowman. They're wrapping around on Heretics. What a cool play from them.
And still in full control of the round as well. It's almost like they've won Icebox a few times before, Ender. Wall placement down in a good spot as well, but it kind of works against them as that spike goes down. Once again, Fnatic staying in full control.
I absolutely love it. Kellogg's trying to re-clear. That spike's in a wacky position. You can play from back fence as well. So a lot of things Heretics have to work on through. I mean, the fact you can just pop on up.
Okay. Finds the 1. Can't quite find the second. Leo's the one to close him out of this too. Down to the 2 versus 2 though. Every chance is there, but Leo just cleans house.
Gorgeous.
Fantastic round from Fnatic.
I feel like every time you watch Fnatic play Icebox, it's just a little bit of a treat, because they just show you another way to take the B site through mid. I think one of the things that really defined this team early on, of course, the defensive setup with Killjoy, but it was just showing multiple different ways to attack into this B site. So many teams just ignore mid, right? Like, did we ever see a split B hit in that first half?
Nope,
No,
not once.
Didn't happen. It's very hard to do. But just the layer there of seeing the alarm bot in mid, smoking it off, getting 3 players up tube, and then hitting the alarm as you swing, anyone in kitchen is expecting 5 to 10 more seconds before they have to fight, and that definitely
on a great read here.
Put them in a great opening spot.
I mean, Heretics know this is coming, but then the question is, what can you do to stop the onslaught? Fnatic have looked nigh on unstoppable across all of that first half and in that previous round. Yes, they've been slowed down here, but until you see when the gun starts singing, we start seeing bodies drop. That's when you'll really start to get a feel for what's going to happen next.
All right, Durka on the opening, has to be able to get through too. Sees the first, sees the second.
There it is!
Yeah. His name's Durka.
He does that. I think even with a rifle on side, they still lose out there. That is what Durka does. In they march. This is where you're seeing the Sage come into its own as well. They do isolate off yellow, but just cannot do anything here with the pistols on side too. Going to be a cozy closeout for Fnatic.
A cozy closeout?
A cozy closeout.
What's that?
It's a cozy closeout, but I said it wrong.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say it was close. I'm like, I don't think this one's close.
That's not close. 5-1 is not very close, no.
Yeah.
5 isn't very close to one,
I mean,
sadly,
Chronicle's close to death. 23 health.
Yeah, but so's Boo, because he's staring down the barrel of 5 guns. Bigger guns than his.
Maybe you shouldn't look at those guns. Maybe you should stay away from them.
Still
needs to die to the spike. I actually, is it optimal to die? There is Boo. I think it is, yeah.
Oh, the Sheriff on side, yeah, surely, right?
No, well, the main difference there is whether or not you die to spike, you die to the player, right? Because if you die to the spike, you don't get an orb, but you also deny an orb from the opposite side. Being the Killjoy, getting up towards the lockdown is going to be impactful. That being said, we know what Durka can actually accomplish with those knives. But I think all things said and done, Heretics, not a bad play to try and sacrifice there and try getting towards that lockdown. although Durka will be outpacing it. And similar to the last half, we'll have that online for round 4.
In fact, the other one, Jets sat near the top of the table. The one very far down the bottom really gives you a feel to how the game has played out so far. It has been the Durka show. Kellogg's really been able to make himself known, or really even seen, if nothing else. Here, Fnatic maybe finally doubling themselves back away. Is this another beaten through mid?
I don't think so. It could be.
They're thinking about it.
Surely not. No. They just wanted to throw the molly through the orb down there. And actually, Zeke's going to use the drone, expecting that it could be a bit of a mid attempt.
I mean, now he knows. Now he knows everything. They know that there must be an A hit coming in. It could be a double back out towards B, which is why you haven't seen Heretics come springing out just yet. But Fnatic have basically got a 4v0 on site here. Outside of a couple of bits of utility, there's just the one off towards the left. And now one more rotates back in. But they've isolated basically 2 separate 4v1s here.
Boaster playing around tube here in mid. Here's all the rotations. Actually broke the dart in mid, I do believe. He turned around for that one. So Heretics may be aware of the potential mid flank coming in.
Poison's off.
But if they go on this retake, look at the position Durka's playing. This is really nice. They're expecting the Harbor Wall to give them protection. Chronicle finds 2, Durka finds the 1, and he can chill. He can fall back off a site. Boo can't do anything on his own, especially with Boaster coming in from behind.
Just overwhelming force coming out from Fnatic. Just when you thought Heretics had a pretty good game on this map last week, I think 13-5 was the final scoreline. Fnatic just reminding them, look, you might be all right against other teams, guys, but they ain't Fnatic when you're coming up against them. Comfortable is honestly the best way I'd describe it. I think confidence was the word we were using yesterday.
You used all these big C words.
Yeah, I'm not going to use any small C words. We'll avoid those.
Okay.
Only the big
Maybe
ones.
some average.
We've had...
Cruising.
Cruising's not bad.
Cruising. I mean...
Capable.
They're very capable.
capable.
Yeah, exceptionally capable, as a matter of fact.
Confidently cruising, full of capability.
Heretics gameplay looking a bit crude, perhaps.
A little claustrophobic on Icebox.
And a Boaster, how charming.
Very good.
So charming.
See, I feel like you're cheating with that word, though.
Because it's a ch.
It's not like the k sound, yeah.
No.
But charming is a good
I'll
way
go
to
with
describe him. All right,
I'll go with it.
we'll commit.
Hold on, it's a Kellogg's moment. Certified Kellogg's round win right here. I guarantee it.
T-Tours. T-Tours.
All right. Yeah, Leo's been
4K.
really effective today.
It's unfortunate, but that's Durka coming in, trying to show what Jets can do. Almost going himself real deep here as well, but has got to make this work somehow. Managed to get himself straight into enemy lines, has got himself up high, and now once again we got that spike going down, but it's Durka to start off once again. Nothing is stopping this man. He's 24-11 for God's sake.
Oh my God, Durka wants more every single time, just repositioning to another high position. Having a field day over on this A site, wants to play in front of that Harbor Wall. Mixwell chipped so low, but he can't quite find a bullet on that one. Doesn't matter, Shorty is in business for Durka.
Can he make it 26 on the close? It's going to be Chronicle to collect.